Toi Toi, or Don't Let Me Down, Carry That Weight medley. Long before cutting clips out became what I do for a living, and years before I saw that scissors can make things out of paper that can move you the way that Monet paintings did me back in my Petersburg days. On my first and so far only visit to the swing in London, because let's face it, that trip was not so much about my teeth, but more about meeting my childhood in the land of yellow submarines, in the déjà vus of the very first dreams that stuck around. In the hindsight, ironically, as I was about to go down a spiral for a while, on the way to lose myself. Walking across the city, trying to shake the tumult of my 26th spring off, and thinking how unnecessarily dramatic it gets sometimes, when it felt like I needed to escape to another country to get away, dissolving in the sound of English accents. I couldn't help but be nostalgic about my teenage times, colored by the 60s, and all the music that I discovered through that one chord in the beginning of A Hard Day's Night that changed my life forever. But going back and more, rewinding the tape closer to the beginning of this journey, I met ballet with my new grandmother, showing me her journals with paper cutouts from Soviet magazines. Seeing those ballerinas with their hair up and the dignity in posture and pale faces, I couldn't help but dream. Sitting her down with Grandpa to watch me jump around the room and point my toes, stubbornly believing that I will do ballet. Or what the hell, I was doing the ballet of living rooms and early longings. Those performances hid in the corners of my memory that I lose the key to sometimes. As well as the early nighttime shenanigans after my dad said his good nights and there seemed to be peace in my parents' living room. Me, 6 or 7, would spend the time I never cared to track, dancing in the dark, trying not to let those old wooden floors give me away with their betraying creaking. I couldn't help it then, and so I take that dancing was something for my soul I had to find. And going back to it now, when swinging to the jazzy groove, I know that it is mine. Yet what makes my soul do a real twist and shout is that I touched my own childhood dream, took it by the hand, and together we did a swing out, swirling into the days of my 33-year-old self. No, I never got to be a ballerina, except in the haze of daydreams, when passing a busker in Montjuic, Barcelona, who rendered Tiny Dancer into a subtle hope that cooled off the unbearable heat of last summer. But through the film we ended up making now, despite the pain it was born in, and tears of more than just being moved and goosebumped by the dance that spoke in the ways beyond anything words could do, I let that 6-year-old girl go backstage with me and witness the beauty being born, like Venus from the waves, from under their pointy shoes, in an extreme close-up. I feel awkward and out of place among the audience in this tiny gold-domed theater, and wearing something beyond the jeans and sweater of that cold November still seems an exaggeration and not me, but it is more about that it feels like I might accidentally stumble across that little girl who would forget herself and bleak rainy days when Swan Lake took her places she could dream about and weave into her endless stories, keeping imagination busy years on end as she was walking the lonely streets before she got her first Walkman and left the first city and the home she grew to know. And maybe that little girl would grow her pixie cut out and be Odetta one day too, somewhere across the universe. Those early days were not all colored with glitter, and even that wore off over the years. And no amount of theater performances can compensate for warmth I seem not to remember after things changed and planets realigned, and the moon in Pisces got things in stock for me I couldn't handle. That little girl is someone I wish sometimes to hold in my arms and tell to, it will be okay. It will be hard at times, but it is worth it. You will feel life so vividly at times, and things will take your breath away that many wouldn't notice. And that is something you need to treasure, And maybe not on stage, not in a theater like this, but in the starlight, your soul gets to do some fouette. And there will be moments you feel like a ballerina and dance your nights away. Be patient. And you always get your fingers for feeling that unbearable lightness mixed with sorrow that you longed for as you watched Giselle. Later, there will be the intensity of Nijinsky, and you will learn that there is a price for creative passion that didn't show in the fairy tale ballets of your early days. You'll discover how so much of the art gets born out of the pain one cannot bear, twisting the gut inside out and making you throw up whatever expectations were naively cooked in daydreams. But then again, in the dark aisles of backstage, where no one is allowed to come with you, you rise on pointe, and much like in your recent edit, with those toes moving sharp to the music, the soul lights up as if imaginary light bulbs turn on with every step, and images of broken light illuminate the uncertain path.